All right. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakha Kudash. I want to give double honors to our apostles, great millstone, rule well, and peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. I was a high spirit we in Judah, and today I want to go into a topic entitled Economy Basics. Just going into, how we were set up in the ancient world, man. And ultimately, we were set up, all right, to be stable financially, man. All right, ultimately to have some type of wealth, okay? The Most High had systems to where every Israelite basically were done. They were treated with just. All right, they were treated justly. All right, for lack of better words. But I want to open up with Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." All right, and one way that the wicked beareth rule, they cause the people to mourn, is through debt, man. All right, through lending, something called lending. All right, so let me get Proverbs, said 22. All right, through something called lending, man. Lending. All right, it's the banker's way, because keep in mind they're bankers, and that's what bankers do. They send out loans, man. To loan means to lend. Like, let me loan me $1. You're lending something. All right, Proverbs 27. Okay. Proverbs 27. All right, Salak. Because actually, I think I had it in another platform anyway. All right, just bear with me 1 second. All right, Proverbs 22 and 7. There we go. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. All right, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender, man. All right, so Esau set up a system, all right, starting with the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, man. All right, the international bankers. They're called the bankers for a reason. They set up a system of oppression, all right, to basically enslave the world, man. And if you look up the ways that the government makes money, all right, it's through taxing individuals, which is why he liberated your woman, but also it's through the housing market, man. All right, Proverbs 22 and 7. The rich ruleth over the poor. Really, it's the bankers. All right, and the borrower is servant to the lender. The word servant really means slave, man. All right. This is Proverbs 22 and 16. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches is he that giveth to the rich. And he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. And ultimately, Esau is about to come to want or come to lacking. All right, he's about to lack. He's about to lose it all, man. All right, but we're going to get into a breakdown. All right, basically proving that we're still modern day slaves, man. We're grid slaves, man. All right, so I'm going to get the word. Actually, I'm gonna get the scripture. All right, to build on it, set the foundation. All right, Sirach 20:21 and 8. It says, wait a minute. All right, let me type it in right quick. Sirach. All right, this is Sirach 21 and 8. It says, "He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial," man. All right. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. So what is that called, man, when you build your house with other men's money, or you buy a house with other men's money in this particular modern sense? It's called a mortgage. All right. And what is a mortgage, man? All right. The word mortgage goes back to the old French, according to the etymon. All right. Dead pledge. All right. So-called because the deal dies when the debt is paid or when payments fail. But basically, you're dead or you're subject to a pledge until you can pay off the loan. All right. And your house is used as a collateral or a pledge, all right, to the bankers, man. If you can't pay off their loan, then that pledge is taken from you. All right. So let's see how that's in violation with the scriptures. All right. First of all, let's go back and actually get that word pledge. All right. Because mortgage means dead pledge, right? Pledge means security, bail, according to the Etymon dictionary. Security, bail. All right. Hostage, security. Because what you're holding hostage, all right, what you're holding hostage is the collateral. You're holding the collateral hostage until that person can pay off their particular debt. So an example of that would be a pawn shop. All right. A pawn shop is really where you You give a pledge for something and they hold it for a particular period of time until you can pay it back, man. All right, I might need some $20 and I sell them my bicycle and they'll give me my bicycle for $20. All right, or they'll charge usury or whatever. And if I can pay the $20 back within a certain period of time, I get my bicycle back. But essentially, they're holding my bicycle as a pledge or hostage, all right, for security, so I won't run off with the money. All right, like how this guy saying in the streets, ran off on the plug. All right, the nigga stuff, right? All right, so let me see. Let me go back. It says pledge, hostage, security, bail. Okay. And it says, let me go back. Going back to mortgage. All right. Like I said, it goes back to dead pledge. All right. It goes back to dead pledge. All right. And that word pledge essentially goes back to the word pawn. Let's see if I can find it in here. Pledge really goes back to the word pawn. All right, which is where you get the word pawn shop. Really, it's a pledge shop. It's where you go to hold people's stuff as a pledge, man. Okay? It's where you go to hold people's possessions as a pledge. But you're not supposed to hold your house, have your house as a pledge, man. Okay? So, like I said, the spirit of bringing back out really goes back to the word pawn. All right? But let's get some examples of pledges in the scriptures, man. All right, Exodus 22 and 26, it says, if thou and I'll take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by the sun that goeth down. All right. So if you hold your neighbor's shirt or clothing, all right, that's what raiment is clothing, as a pledge, meaning he borrows something from you and as a pledge or as a bind between you and him that he won't just run off with it or never pay you back. You hold his raiment. All right, but you keep his raiment until the sun goes down, man. All right. Let me just click on that. All right, Exodus 22 and 26. All right, verse 27, it says, for that is his covering only, and it is his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep. And it shall come to pass when he crieth unto me that I would hear, for I am gracious. All right. So that's an example of a pledge. Another example of a pledge or a pun or a binder. All right. It says Deuteronomy 24 and 6. All right, Deuteronomy 24 and 6. It says, no man shall take the nether or the upper millstone to pledge, for he taketh the man's life to pledge. Because that's what a man used to make grains from like wheat. All right. That's how he makes flour. So it says you should not use basically a man's livelihood as a pledge, man. All right. It says, let me see if I can find another one. Yeah, well, hey, those are some examples. It says, Deuteronomy 24 and 12. And if the man be poor, thou shalt not sleep with this pledge, man. All right, because that's oppression. All right, but those are just examples of a pledge, all right, and those are regulations on how you deal with pledges, a binding between you and another person, man. All right, going back to Sirach 21:8, he that builded his house with other men's money, all right, it's like one that gathered himself stones for the tomb of his burial, man. All right, because the house, all right, is a pledge for the bankers that you're gonna pay their loan back, man. All right, but that's robbery, as you can see, man. All right, and now that we have some examples of what a pledge is, all right, let's get some examples, all right, of how we justly deal with things, man. See, it's not natural for us to have apartments, all right, and have to get loans in the bank. And these banks are nefariously known for extracting usury upon the 12 tribes. Not only extracting usury because everybody gets charged interest, but they overcharge the interest, all right? Wells Fargo is one of those banks, all right? So let's get the scriptures on example on how we kept each other built up, man. All right, how we built each other up, man. Or we set each other up financially, okay? It says, and I'm not going to get the whole account. You can get the whole account if you read the book of Tobit. But this is an example of how we set up our descendants not to be fucking slaves, man. Because we didn't have apartments, condos, all right? We had estates. And when you had a son, he was an heir to your estate. That's where you get the word inheritance. Inheritance, the word inheritance has the element heir in it, because he's an heir who inherits your estate, man. All right. So I'm just going to get the main point. Let me see. It says Tobit 14 and 12, and this is talking about Tobias, Tobit's son. All right. And it says, when Anna, his mother, was dead, all right, Tobit's wife, which is Tobias' mother, and when Anna, his mother, was dead, he buried her with his father. But Tobias departed with his wife and children to Ecbatane, to Raguel, his father-in-law, all right, where he became old with honor, and he buried his father and mother-in-law honorably, and he inherited their substance and his father Tobit's. So Tobit's son Tobias, when he went and got his wife, all right, and they became old in age, all right, when his parents-in-law died, he inherited his parents-in-law's substance and his father's substance, man. All right, he didn't have to go to a bank and get a loan, all right, for a house and use the house as collateral, as a binder to pay the bank back. That's not in the scriptures, man, because that's referred to as usury or oppression. That's why I said when a wicked come in authority, the people mourn. That's why you have so many homeless people, not drug addicts and people who just were never had anything, but you have people who used to own houses who are now homeless because they can't keep up with their mortgages. They can't keep the pledge, man. They're binders. So the house is collateral and they lose the house. But the scriptures have safety nets, such as the regulations on pledges, all right, to keep people from really being homeless, or to keep people from just being out there. Ultimately, our people, man. All right. So, like I said, we were not supposed to have, we were not supposed to set up our livelihood. Essentially, that's what these laws are. These laws are governing and protecting our livelihood of the citizen of Israel, Israelite, period, man. The Most High set up laws to protect us, and we don't have to put our livelihoods on the line, all right, to have necessities in life, man. All right, we don't have to put our necessities on the line just to have something, man. All right, so you shouldn't have to put, your car on the line, because the cars goes into that too. Because if you don't pay the payment on the car, then you best get your car repossessed, and now you in debt with that bank that you got the loan through, man. All right, but if you don't pay the mortgage on that house, you get the house repossessed. Now you in debt with the bank, man. All right, but that's not how the scripture set it up. The laws of our fathers was set up to where we inherited what our fathers had, man. All right, then when we passed that down to our offspring, man. That's what you call generational wealth, literally, man. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Bashai, Bashar Hakodash, double honor to our apostles, great millstone, Ruel. Peace and blessed to the house of David the elect. With that, Abba, come, Shalom.